Everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to our Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous playthrough. This is our Beast Tamer Bard build. What the fuck? My brain mushified during that sentence. That's not how we do these things. Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to our Beast Tamer Bard playthrough. It's session 259. We are in... What's this place called? The House of Silken Shadows. The Palace of Nocticula within Alashanira. And we got here last time we played. And we we went in expecting, because I was like, oh, I want to see, you know, the start of the conversation with Nocticula before we end for the night. And then it wasn't Nocticula. In point of fact, it was Arilu Vorlesh who's fucking hanging out in here. So, something's up. Let's go see what's what. Shall we? Okay. So, this will be partial repeats.
Greetings, Commander.
We're gonna head through all this.
Allow me to express my deepest admiration of your work, and may I just ask...
Okay. So. I believe we answered with number 2. Because we were trying to be polite, you know. Evening, brother. How's it going, Jay? How you be doing? We definitely don't want to go with number 4. Because... I feel zero reason to antagonize Arilu Vorlesh. I feel like 1 is also antagonistic. It's just I feel like these two are maybe similar options. All good. Just hit chapter 4 in TO. Okay, gotcha. I was like, TA. What? Okay, let's head through. I think we'll just stick with our answer. What are you doing here, Arilu? And with Suture in tow.
The Suture is my servant. I did not expect him to rush into the abyss after me, but I have allowed him to remain with me while I take care of some business. However, you asked what I am doing here. I bring answers.
That's so surprising! I can't believe Kasia would try to stab you like that!
You have walked a long path. One where
This
shadows
bitch.
constantly flicker at the edge of your vision, and questions multiply like flies above. It is time for answers. At least, some of them.
I don't know why that part triggered me so bad, but it was just like, of all the dumbass shit for Kasia to kind of like do, to like go from you're picking, you won't quit fighting, so I'm gonna leave, you're abandoning me, right? To then going, I've joined the other side and I'm gonna fight and I'm gonna stab you. Like, what the fuck is going on? What was your decision-making process? None of that, like, if you did the first part, then none of the second part made any sense. Yeah. Absolutely. Like, it makes no sense. Because she's not brainwashed, right? She's not mind-controlled, right? She's just been silver-tongued, right? Like, I guess, like, someone's been like, oh, blah, 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 blah. How did your emotions screw up so much to where you went from, like, I'm mad at you because you're choosing to defend the people over me, to now I'm gonna stab you. And now I'm going to rejoin the war that I got mad at you for staying in, and I'm gonna stab you. She believed Dinham abandoned her completely even before Lancelot put the bug in her? Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I think she was just susceptible to the bug because of that already.
Day 16, Aridus 4715. Experiment Transformation. Subject. Let's skip that. Objective. To embed the essence of a Nahindrian crystal in the soul of the subject. Expected result. The essence will coalesce with the subject's soul, which will ready itself for total transformation, triggering the concomitant powers.
Bad.
The time has come to put my
I
plan
keep messing with
into
him. Oh, and
action.
he's also watching Lippo over here. She's running around like cray-cray. Go get her, Otis. Go get her. Look at her over there. She acting like she want to get bit.
You are my creation. Your power was my gift. Now you know.
I can't do that, Mama. Lippo running around in there. Okay. Sure. Let's say I believe you. Why did you need to do all this?
You are asking the right questions, but the time has
Don't
not
encourage
yet
the
come.
boy. It doesn't matter if I encourage him or not.
Ah, such special memories. Remember the laboratory, do you? I told you back then. Go on, look around. See all the ones Lydia really worked on. Here with us is definitely the place for you.
Yeah, the hand of the inheritor. The unseen angel does not speak, but his silence seems to thunder in your ears.
Your power is of the same kind as that of Nulkineth, Jeribeth, and the other demons that you have met. The power of the Nahindrian crystal dissolved into the blood lies within your soul. I have already hinted at this to you once before.
Yeah, we
when
have
I left the
suspected.
essence along with the lexicon of paradox in my old laboratory, and ordered the suture to make sure the gift found its way into your hands.
And then we have suspected things like this previously, and then right before this, we found several more little pieces of lore, including the second part of the Lexicon of Paradox, or some part of the Lexicon of Paradox, that all but said, right? Like, that's what's happening.
But there is more. Do you remember when you were taken to Canobris with a wound that would not heal? Do you remember how Terendelev apparently healed you? That was merely an illusion. The dragon was only able to temporarily dull the pain. In fact, it was I who saved you, when I came to you in the caves and implanted a crystal within you. No, saved is not the right word. Your wound is still not healed. That is why your wound weeps blood from time to time, every drop of which burns your enemies.
So my question with this is why though? Why do I have this eternal wound? Other mythicals, other Nahindrians that we've seen before don't seem to have this issue. Is it because of the way it was done to me, or is it because I'm like the best specimen? Like, did we push past an edge and that caused this? Like, of course. Ugh. As if to confirm her words, blood begins to seep from the wound on your chest. Eerie flames seem to dance within the crimson drops.
This is pure essence of Nahindrian crystal. My invention is far superior to the crystals used by Xanther, which were barely refined at all. It will give you new strength, and help you to overcome the wound that still slumbers within your soul. Take it. Take it, and you will see that this is the very power that has lived in you since the Battle of Canobris.
Okay. I remember last time we were like, yeah, that's not going to work. You got to tell me everything first. So we're going to continue on that path.
Very well, then. Ask your questions, and I will answer.
What is this wound in my soul? How dangerous is it?
It was my mistake. My failure. I failed to... The tale is too long to recount here. Your wound is a reflection of the world wound, in a way. It is very dangerous, even if you do not yet realize it. It is not a disease, but rather an abscess, which will one day burst and kill you. It cannot fully be healed until the world wound is healed. No doubt you have felt this affliction on several occasions. It awakens when you use your power. It makes you sense more strongly what mortals call the corruption of the abyss. Until the world wound is healed, you will have no peace.
Also, the amount of voice acting right now, beautiful. Absolutely immaculate. This game, and don't get me wrong, I like reading. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, I hate having to read through my RPG or CRPG or whatever. Right? I like reading. I like doing voices and things like that. But there is absolutely something lost, right, in the context of a silly person like me doing a voice versus something like this, right? Like an individual hired to play the voice of this character. It's just, it hits on such a different level, right? Anyways.
Like a witch in a fairy tale, I watched over you from birth. From before that, even. And I kept detailed notes. You were chosen and prepared for a special destiny.
The fuck?
I am pleased to see that you still wear them. I enchanted them specially to protect you from danger. I am glad you found my gift useful.
You can't remember where you got the bracers with your name and the inscription "I promise" on them. Seems like you've always had them. What?
Aside from this, I helped you, even when you were unaware of my presence. I saved you and your unfortunate companions when you fell into the crevice in Canabras.
Nice. Thanks.
In the Grey Garrison, it was I who distracted Minago to allow you to approach the Wardstone. And in Dresden, I appeared under the guise of Yoniel to guide you toward the Sword of Valor.
I do remember that part.
And I also left you a present in my old laboratory. I told the Suture to see that you received it. I knew that sooner or later you would find your way there. That place exerts a powerful pull.
I kinda just want to hit her with the chaotic. In that case, thanks for your help. You should help me out more often.
Certainly. But do not expect me to solve all your problems. A child that is forever carried in its mother's arms will never learn to walk.
Why was that whole ploy with the lab necessary? You were ready to sacrifice your servant, the Suture, for it.
You always have to sacrifice something. I wanted you to go to the laboratory to see with your own eyes what I had been doing and what I am capable of, so it would be easier for you to accept the truth. The laboratory is the place where I prepared your ascent. And the Suture was the only one who I could trust to execute my plan and explain everything. After all, he too once experienced rebirth at my hands. And that is why I was willing to risk his life.
Look at that, I actually provoked a reaction. That's the second time your expression has changed when I mentioned the Suture. Now I know the Architect of the World Wound is capable of feeling remorse, if only when she sends her Dretch minion on a deadly mission.
I see I am not the only one making observations and drawing conclusions. You are analyzing me. That is commendable.
Urilu's face remains impassive, but she is silent for so long its blankness becomes almost uncanny. Tell me about the Nahindrian crystals. Start from the beginning.
Nahindrian crystals are formed from the solidified blood of demon lords.
Okay.
Their properties are not well known, even among the inhabitants of the Abyss. And there are reasons for this. Acquiring the blood of a dead demon lord is very difficult. After a demon lord dies, their body is instantly absorbed into the Rift of Repose.
Okay.
Only the Lady in Shadow knows how to kill them in a way that allows her to preserve the bodies of her fellow lords and transform them into a solid state. That means that Nihindrian crystals cannot be obtained anywhere other than the Midnight Isles.
Interesting.
Or rather, it was impossible until recently, when I managed to experimentally obtain a crystal from the blood of a still living lord. You saw the result. A dagger made from Discari's freshly shed blood, which I left for you in Canabris. As regards the use of the crystals, that is a discussion that would take time. A very long time. Someday I will finish my groundbreaking treatise on the transformation of Nihindrian crystals. Although it is unlikely I will ever publish it.
Unfortunate. Okay, so yeah, that event is her setting us up, right? Like the suture handing us a crossbow with the midnight bolt in it, us firing it at Discari, and the midnight bolt can never miss, cannot be reduced in damage, so we dealt the Discari a blow, and then Arilu took that blood, the drop of blood, and transformed it into the dagger that I think Ember actually has right now. It's either Ember or Ninia. Okay, so that's really interesting. So you figured out how to use the crystals to imbue living creatures with power.
Not just any creatures. Demons. And half-demons. The soul must have a stable connection with the Abyss in order for it to receive the power of the crystal. Experiments involving tieflings and mongrels failed because the voice of the Abyss was not strong enough within them.
Am I a demon? I'm not a demon. Am I?
I wasn't a demon either when I started.
Ah, interesting.
But there are always ways to circumvent, or even to override the laws of the universe.
Interesting.
I changed myself by knitting my soul together with the essence of the Abyss. And I changed you. Do you remember the fits of rage that began shortly after Discari's attack on Canabris? This is how the second half of your soul manifested itself. Not yet fully aware.
Yeah.
Not yet awakened. It's a pity you did not choose to let your demonic nature take hold. The result would have been most impressive.
I actually think the game would be really cool to play as the demonic version and just like give in, right?
Oh, those arrogant crusaders, those knights with their eyes ablaze, those pious priests. They have installed at the head of their magnificent army a scion of the Abyss, the creation of the architect of the world wound, whom they so revile.
Sure. Okay. It's strange to see you here in Nocticula's palace. Who do you really serve? Discari? Baphomet? She doesn't serve... She serves herself.
Both.
Yeah.
And neither.
Yes.
I have served both Discari and Baphomet, and not merely as the lowest in the pecking order. But I do not think you'll be surprised when I tell you that to me, both of these mighty lords are merely convenient temporary sources of power. And their time is almost at an end.
Oh.
But the Lady in Shadow is different. She is the preeminent ruler. Soon you will understand this for yourself.
Interesting. I wonder if Arilu actually feels that's true, or if Nocticula is just another stepping stone for her. Arilu's tone is indifferent as she informs you of this, as if she were simply commenting on the weather rather than her obeisance before demon lords. My power is different from that of Jerabeth, Nulkaneth, and the other demons.
Yes, because I taught Xanther and the other servants of Baphomet and Discari the earliest version of this transformation ritual. I spent decades perfecting it until I obtained the power that I gave to you. Power in its most purified form. cleansed of the filth and chaos inherent within the original blood of the demon lords.
Okay.
Your power is as pure as thrice distilled water, but it resonates with other powerful sources of supernatural power, such as the Sword of Valor. And your power can change. You must have realized this already. You have shaped my gift into a form that you yourself have chosen.
Yes.
You are seeking answers, trying to understand the crux of the matter. That is good.
Okay. Ultimate question. What's the purpose? Yeah, well, at the end of all of this, why?
Patience. Before we continue, I want you to receive your power.
Fuck. I want the power, right? And honestly, in the moment, the way that things have been described, this isn't me just trying to like pawn myself into it or excuse the power grab, but I do feel like so far, if Arilu just wanted to make a puppet, she could have just made a puppet, right? The point of choice is for whatever reason is important here, right? Like you said, we have chosen to shape the power that we received in the way that we have wanted. And even though we didn't choose the path that she necessarily would have preferred, she's still happy with us, right? So, I'm gonna touch it. I will not refuse this power, but I will decide how to use it. You touch the essence, and the power, so familiar and clear, flows through you like a river. The power that courses through you is so immense, the wound on your chest closes up as if it had never existed.
Now you know. You truly know.
What do I know?
Enough! Enough of this madness! I was blind. O Lady of Heaven, how blind I was. I saw holiness in the half-fiend's creation.
Are you gonna fight me now? Oh no. The voice of the Hand of the Inheritor thunders behind you. Arilu does not move, seemingly unaware of his presence.
All your valiant deeds, your resistance in the face of temptation, it was all a deception? Curse the Abyss, and curse Alushanira, where even the most faithful lose their way, and lie, and commit treason. I must save those who can be saved, and break free from the kingdom of darkness.
The angel's voice fades, and you can no longer sense his presence. He has disappeared. I
want to help you close the world wound.
Why? Arilu looks at you for a while, then she speaks. Why? Hello, Nocticula. Arilu's words are cut off by a quiet laugh. Sitting on the throne that was empty just a moment ago is none other than Nocticula, ruler of Alushanira, the Midnight Isles, a powerful demon lord, and the one they call Our Lady in Shadow. Her red lips curl into an ironic smile, and her large eyes observe you with keen interest.
You were about to say, we are going to close the world wound, weren't you, Arilu? I see no reason to continue deceiving this mortal. Now I am convinced that he is quite worthy of serving me. I will even reward him with a modicum of knowledge about the events in which he is about to take part.
Uh-oh.
Greetings to you, Our Lady in Shadow.
Arushale swiftly drops to one knee and bows her head. Ooh.
It's nice to see that even surrounded by mortals, you haven't forgotten who your mistress is, Arushale. You may rise.
Nocticula nods casually at the succubus's direction.
I didn't mean to. I don't know why I did it.
Arushale stands up awkwardly and looks at Nocticula first, then at you with a stunned expression. Alright. Yeah, I don't think we want to threaten her, just because I don't think that's our vibe. We're not lawful. I'm not opposed to this, although it's a little, hostile. That's a little non-hostile. Evil. Nope. Not honestly, the nod calmly is kind of like a little, like, I don't know. Yeah, I kind of just want to go with the nod calmly, like, just say greetings and not be a dick. My greetings, Lady Nocticula.
Such an impenetrable face you have, mortal. It hides your heart well.
Her eyes, slightly narrowed, study you closely.
I have had my eye on you for a very long time. You see, it was at my behest that Lady Vorlesh imbued you with such incredible powers. But I was curious to see your worth as an individual, not as Lady Vorlesh's creation. Thus, I decided to postpone our meeting and see how you'd fare in Alushanira, and whether or not you could win respect and power among those not so easily impressed by outstanding magical abilities. Well, you've passed my test adequately by proving that your character and your will are stronger than the Nehindrian powers Lady Vorlesh has vested in you.
Nice.
You are wise, my lady. However, only those who have never known or forgotten what it is like to be mortal can so easily dismiss the importance of power. To be someone whose life is fragile and can be cut short at any moment, like a candle snuffed out by a gust of wind.
It is a shame your angel has left you, mortal. I would have liked to talk to him. I don't expect I will get another chance, as that celestial buffoon's days are numbered.
Nocticula's tone is casual, but her eyes are intent, scrutinizing you. Why do you think the Hand of the Inheritor is going to die?
Because he charged off all alone into the vastness of the abyss. An old friend awaits him there, the Echo of Discari. And the Echo has been anticipating this meeting for a long time.
Why? Yeah. Why does the Echo of Discari prey upon the Hand of the Inheritor?
Envy, humiliation, ego. The usual playthings of little boys from all planes and realities. The Echoes suffered more than one defeat. First at Eridan's hand, then under the onslaught of the forces of heaven. Those routes taught him to attack his enemies by stealth, boldly and often, killing and crippling anyone close to the light-bringing goddess. Now, it seems, he has decided the time has come. The Herald of Iomedae himself is in the Abyss alone, without a retinue of lesser angels.
Unfortunate. The Hand of the Inheritor told me his magic deceived the eyes of all evil spawn of the Abyss, but not yours?
Perhaps you don't know everything about me yet, mortal. Perhaps you made the same mistake as many before you, and many who were more insightful and more powerful than you, by presuming to know what to expect from the Lady in Shadow.
Alright, we get it. You're super fucking cool. Calm down a little. Nocticula gives you a pleased and mysterious smile. Tell me about the Echo of Discari.
He is a strange creature. A bespoke creation, so to speak. Long before the world wound was opened, Discari, that little cricket, was seeking a way to have some fun on Golarion and assert his influence there. One day, he decided to gather a few strong mortal followers, fuse them together into one being, and pump that being full of his own power, in the belief that something worthwhile would come of it. That is how the Echo came to be. To the great dismay of both the Echo and the Lord of Crickets, the Echo was greeted by Eridan, protector of humankind. Eridan gave the Echo such a thorough thrashing, the whole Abyss thought him dead.
Nice.
And yet he was not. Cricket, the younger, is alive and well.
Oh my god.
Though I cannot say the same for Eridan. But the Echo remembers his humiliation still. He hates anything and everything related to Eridan, especially his inheritor, Iomedae. Her heralds, her priests, her temples. He would hate Iomedae's pet pug, if she had one.
Okay, the writing for Nocticula is very well done, and the voice actress did a great job, right? Like, she's hitting all the notes here. She's funny, right? She's witty, but she's also informative. She's also assertive, right? Like, really great shit. Who in the name of Slaanesh is this? This is Nocticula. This is the Lady in Shadow, the ruler of the place we've been in the entirety of Act 4. She is hot shit. I see.
He's an interesting little bird, that angel. Before he became the herald of Iomedae, he served Regathiel, the general of vengeance. I've always found the fate of that Imperial Lord to be quite fascinating. Did you know that the father of the Upper Plains' top military leader was a devil from hell? Regathiel had to achieve many feats to redeem his unholy legacy in the eyes of the other Imperial Lords. But he did. A remarkable tale, is it not?
It is remarkable, Nocticula.
Of course, not all your actions in my realm have been commendable. By destroying the flesh markets, you've harmed my city and impoverished my realm.
A faint shadow flickers across Nocticula's face. Oops, she mad. Yeah, no, I'll hit up, straight up. I'll never accept something as vile as the slave trade.
You've just arrived in my realm. And
Yes.
you're already trying to dictate your own rules?
Absolutely.
As I recall, when demons attempted something similar on Golarion, armies were raised, and mortals fought to the death to stop it. Myself, but I will be gracious and show you mercy.
Thanks.
I am a hospitable ruler.
I appreciate it. It's not like you're not gonna put it back after I'm gone. Your conversation is interrupted by a concerned-looking succubus who silently approaches Nocticula and then begins fervently whispering into her ear. Nocticula's expression turns hard and cold. As Nocticula ponders the new development, the messenger makes eyes at you playfully. You recognize those green eyes, except they were awash with pain when you last saw them, their owner bleeding out in the caverns of the Nexus. The succubus smiles slyly and gives you a wink. Their eyes bleeding out in the caverns of the Nexus. Oh, it's
Another island, another loss. Enough. I warned them that I would not stand for the desolation of my realm. They have not heeded me, and they will regret it. Go to your sisters and tell them to prepare.
Nocticula sends the green-eyed servant away and turns her face to you once more. In the Nexus. We might end up having to do this whole conversation again. But I know her, yeah. That green-eyed succubus, I know her.
Yes, you've already met Laulia, my talented assistant. I've heard she was very convincing at acting out her tragic death in the minds of the Nexus. As you can see, I've been watching you since your very first moments in the Abyss. And even a little earlier.
See, that's interesting, though, because I don't think we actually fought Laulia, right? Like, I thought we like, spoke to her and just kind of like, if I'm remembering correctly, if it's the right one, right? Because that was around the Playful Darkness area. We just talked with her. We didn't fight her. I don't think. Maybe it's a different succubus?
I have prepared a beautiful intrigue that will topple many of your enemies and seal the world wound forever, ending the threat to Golarion. And you have the chance to become part of that intrigue.
Oh, shit. My companion Ember would like to speak with you.
Ember? So that's her then? Well, approach. I have heard you bleating your pathetic prayers at me.
Oof.
You have some nerve addressing me with such nonsense. Did you think I would simply repent?
Maybe.
Renounce my status as a demon lord? Do you have any idea what I had to do to acquire it? Wait, what is this?
Uh-oh. Oh, no! Tears are rolling down Ember's cheeks as she oh no. She sniffles noisily. She presses her maimed hands against her heart as she stares up at Nocticula. Her fragile form shudders from weeping. Arilu wrinkles her nose in disdain. Why have you brought this simpleton here? This is Alushnira, not Nerosian. We don't give alms here.
I can't stand these noises. Do you think you're the first to try to move me with a display of tears? It only makes me angry. If you wish to speak, then wipe your nose and speak clearly.
She's so frustrated. It's ridiculous when it pans back to the party and you see your circus of a party. Yes, absolutely it is.
I know what you had to do to others and to yourself. I'm so sorry. So sorry. If only I could ease your pain somehow. Calm your sorrows.
You should hear her out.
In my realm, I decide to whom I should listen and whom I should hang. Be quiet. You wanted me to hear the girl out. Then let her babble on until I tire of her.
Could you step out from around the Triceratops and the dragon? No. Well, they're protecting us.
Where were we? My pain? My sorrows? What nonsense are you talking? Don't tell me you pity me.
I'm so sorry. You're the most miserable soul I've ever seen.
Jesus.
I've seen people burned alive. People being devoured by monsters. People burying their children. They were in pain. So much pain. But I've never seen anyone in as much pain as you.
Wow.
What is this saccharine drivel? What do you even know of me, Nat?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I heard the turn in that voice, Nocticula.
I've seen your city. You were the one who built it. It is the way you wanted it to be. It holds all of your dreams, all of your heart, and everyone in this city is suffering. Everywhere, all the time, every minute. All who live here are hurting and scared. If these are its citizens, how miserable must its ruler feel?
I don't know, she seems pretty happy.
And this is what you brought her to me for. You think this infantile sniveling is worthy of my attention?
I kind of just want to shrug silently at her, honestly. Oh, shit. It's actually, I think, between good and... It's between 1 and 5 at this point. I do think there's wisdom in Ember's words, but I don't know that we, from a character standpoint, would really go for it. I think I think we're probably going to redo a lot of these. So I think I'm going to go for good for now, and then we'll probably ultimately just shrug silently. I've seen the truth of her wisdom more than once. Perhaps it would benefit you to listen to her as well.
As if I hadn't seen enough sanctimonious bores in my life. So, what do you suggest I do, preacher? Beg the good gods' forgiveness? Devote myself to serving a sword-swinging upstart, perchance? Or that old crone, the moon?
No. Gods can't help anyone. They're just like us mortals. Silly, frightened, clueless. You're almost a goddess yourself. You know better than anyone that no one can save you. No one except you.
Save me? From what exactly?
Oh shit.
From yourself. From what you've done to yourself. From the city you've imprisoned yourself in. Listen, you are a queen, but you're the queen of pain and filth. Your realm is a realm of your own suffering. You're almost a goddess. You can do anything you want. So why won't you make yourself happy? You could become the Redeemer Queen.
The Redeemer Queen. That's new. Never in all my years have I heard anything like that. Well, child, enough joking. Get out of my sight, or I'm afraid I might decide to keep you here forever as my fool.
That was a fucking moment.
Do you think she took my words to heart?
Oh no. Upon giving Nocticula one last smile, Ember ducks behind your back. You hear her whispering, "Dear Lord." Oh, who knows?
I suppose you're right. We'll see what happens.
Fingers crossed, Ember.
I told you to get out! I don't want to hear your squeaky voice again!
My god, I loved that. That was pretty great. Did Arilu really create me? You certainly had a hand in your present state of existence. Lady Vorlesh designed the World Wound, a magical phenomenon of unfathomable power. To seal it, we required a key that was just as strong and unique. Simply put, we required a champion, and she chose you. Why create the World Wound only to seal it? And why do you care about sealing it? Both your powers and that wound on your chest were the result of her experiments, when she infused your soul with the essence of the Abyss. Of course, you remember none of that. Everything was done in secret. Even the power granted to you was purified to the extent that it was possible, so that you would not guess its source ahead of time. In trial after trial, we watched your will be tempered, and when the time came, we started filling you with the energies of Nahindrian crystals. These energies are necessary for the task at hand. Everything that's happened to you was part of my intrigue. I was going to summon you and reveal the truth when the time was right. Instead, you have followed your queen's orders and arrived here early. One can only hope that you are prepared to accept the truth. Everything has its price, says Arilu quickly. Your wound was, in essence, the flip side of all my experiments. There was a reason why we required a true champion, not merely a living tool whom we could fling into the flames of the World Wound and close it, like any lesser rift. I think you should know that. Nocticula makes a sudden gesture, cutting Arilu off. Don't be too hasty. You've burdened him with enough revelations for now. Give him time to become accustomed to the truth about himself, then you can share all the details. What exactly are you offering me? I am offering you the chance to become my weapon. Your enemies are a thorn in my side as well as yours. What's more, I have never schemed against Golarion, nor have my warriors taken part in the conquest of your plane, at least not at my behest. There is no cause for enmity between us. Why do you want to close the wound? When the world wound opened, I was pleased. My realm was now connected to another plane. I wanted to make it into a crossroads of worlds, a place where demons, devils, and even angels could meet. The wound was a convenient path along which I could advance my ideas. But the Midnight Isles were not the only realm that had been linked to Golarion through the wound. Deskari and Baphomet now also had a way from their realms into your plane. Their servants flooded my islands and spread out across them like a plague of locusts, killing guests who were under my protection, questioning my rule. Were driven by their lust to conquer and enslave, whether on Golarion or in another abyssal realm. I was forced to shift my focus and express my discontent. Eventually, atop the bones of our servants, we reached an accord. I would let their armies pass, and they would comply with my wishes while on my islands. Of course, the accord is a polite fiction. Both the Deskarites and the Baphomets are attempting to amass their power and influence in Alushanira to overthrow me. When they think I'm not watching, they break my taboos and revel in their own impudence. And worst of all, Lady Vorlesh told them about the Nahindrian crystals. They realized what kind of power the crystals hold, and now they're determined to mine every last deposit hidden within my islands. And once an island loses its crystals, it becomes nothing but flotsam, slowly sinking into the dark waters of Ishiar. With every lost island, my power is diminished. I could start a war and kill the plunderers, but a major conflict would hinder some of my other plans. So instead, I will teach my neighbors a lesson by orchestrating their ignominious defeat at the hands of a mortal. Such a roundabout way. Holy shit. What do I gain by serving you? A reasonable question. One must always serve one's own interests. Well, rest assured that you will be adequately rewarded. I will give you gifts befitting your ambitions, and my patronage, which you can certainly count on, will prove more valuable than any enchanted trinkets you could dream up. You're so powerful, why do you need me? If I were to make a move myself, it would start a war. Not that I'm afraid of doing so, but it would hamper my more important plans. Baphomet and Deskari could never best me, but they could sow enough chaos and spill enough blood that visitors from other planes would shudder at the mention of Alushanira. No, I will wage war on my own terms, in the shadows, and I will remain unseen until I drive my blade into my enemy's back. And since Galfrey happened to send you to my realm, you have the honor of becoming my blade, mortal. Be glad you're wielded by skillful hands. We should also reveal how exactly our blade will be employed. Nocticula silences Aurilu with a sharp gesture. We can discuss the details later, when the moment is right. Now is not the time for idle conversation. It is really interesting. Like, I like Nocticula, obviously, but it does feel like Aurilu is kind of like, stifled by the confines of Nocticula's control, her command. How exactly do you plan to close the whirlwind? She rolls her eyes. It is a complicated magical process. You will receive precise instructions once you've captured the Threshold Fortress on Golarion. There, at the exact spot where Lady Vorlesh opened the world wound, you will be able to close it. But first, you'll have to crush the Guardians of Threshold, and their forces are growing by the day. Hepzimira, Baphomet's daughter, is mining a large number of Nahindrian crystals in my realm. These crystals are her secret weapon. No army on Golarion can stand against them. You must stop Hepzimira. If you do not, your world will fall and my plans will suffer significant harm. At one time, I disclosed the secret of transformation to two servants of Baphomet and Deskari, Xanthar Vang and Mutasafet. It was a well-calculated gambit, which bought us time and assured both Deskari and Baphomet of my loyalty. Mutasifen is Hepzimira's favorite. He oversees the transformation of her army. Hepzimira is currently on another island far from here. The route to that place is plagued by pirates, monsters, tempests, and other more terrifying dangers. Have you heard of the living bubbles of frozen time that swallow airships, and when the ships reach port, their crews discover they've been gone for 100 years? That is not the strangest occurrence you could encounter on your journey. I am willing to provide you with a decent ship and an experienced crew. If you kill Hepzimira, it will stop her sinking any more of my islands, but without Baphomet cause to declare war on me. Nocticula casts a sidelong glance at Arushale. Then again, I'm not offering you anything new, as you're already enjoying my favor, Commander. Your companion is a succubus, and I am the succubus queen. This demon follows you around only because I allow it. Tell me, Arushale, are you grateful that I'm not forbidding you from traveling with the commander and fighting against your own kind? Ooh. Yikes. The succubus reluctantly lowers her head. You are incredibly generous, Our Lady in Shadow. Thela winks at you. So what do you think, Commander? Personally, I'd rather take my chances rowing to this other island far from here in a rusty bucket than make any deals with the Lady in Shadow. I'll steer. Why is it so important to kill Hepzimira? Deskari and Baphomet won't just stand there and watch you close the world wound. They'll send their armies after you, so you will need an army of your own, and that is something the Crusaders won't have for long. Hepzimira is mining more and more Nahindrian crystals to empower her forces when she attacks Golarion. If you don't stop her, the Crusaders' resistance will be crushed, and the ranks of demons pouring through the world wound into your world will multiply 100-fold. You were sent here to cut off the demon army's supply of Nahindrian crystals, weren't you? Well, that's exactly what you're going to accomplish. We'll consider your offer, Lady in Shadow. And accept it, I'm sure. I respect your caution and won't force you into submission. We all stand to gain if you do my bidding of your own volition. A glimmer of approval dances in Nocticula's eyes. An interesting destiny lies before you, mortal. You will rise to great heights and play a part in events of titanic proportions. Many would give their life for a chance to tread on such a path. Hepzimira visits Alushanira every now and again, but her true lair is far from here. She hides on the island of Kolafir, to the northwest of my archipelago. There lies her secret fortress. In the deep mines, her slaves dig Nahindrian crystals for the invading army she plans to bring to Golarion. I will give you a magnificent airship and an experienced crew to take you there. It will be a long and perilous journey. Take some time to prepare. Holy shit, there's so much lore happening right here. And the idea that we might have to go through it again, because I kind of want to see if we flip sides, or if we can keep the Herald of Baphomet with us, right? But we will have to figure that out on the next video. If you're watching on Twitch, stick around. We're going to keep playing. If you're watching on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed. This is really, really cool shit. I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.